Does an unearthed report from a few years ago prove that Muslims commit 80% of child grooming offences here in the UK? Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. And in today's video, I'm going to explain if a report unearthed from a few years back now proves that Muslims commit 80% of child grooming offences here in the UK. Now, I'm going to give you the information and you guys can decide for yourselves. However, in no way am I inciting hatred to anyone or any particular group. So let's jump into it with this first and foremost, a tweet from Vicegrad24, and thanks to Elon Musk for sharing this out. And they say only 1% of the British population is Pakistani men. But according to the Cockburn report, they committed 80% of the gang RAPES. Now, just to make you aware, guys, YouTube Human Reviewer does not like certain words being said. Otherwise, they try and suppress videos. And I don't want this video being suppressed. I need this information to come out to all of you. And so, got to be a little bit careful what I say here. Hope you understand. They then say that only 3.6% of these offences were committed by white men. And so I thought, well, hang on a minute. I've never really heard of this Cockburn report before. What the deuce is going on here? Now, I found this report. And before we get to it, you're going to hear the word CEOP a bit as I go through some of it. Now, this is an acronym, and that stands for Child Exploitation and Online Protection Centre. And so here is the Cockburn report, characteristics of group-based child SEXUAL exploitation in the community, literature review from October 2020. So yes, this is an unearthed report that was published years ago. And so the first bit that I found was under the section offender modus operandi, targeting and grooming the survivors. And here, this part of the report says the following. There is also evidence regarding the different ways that offenders facilitate one another's access to these survivors. It goes on to say that, the Police Foundation found the survivors were subjected to repeated exploitation over long periods of time. Each of the 43 groups of offenders they identified were linked to an average of five survivors, although one group was linked to as many as 54. Research looking specifically at 35 survivors of group-based child SEXUAL exploitation from Asian backgrounds found that of the survivors who were exploited, 30, which was 86% of the cases involved, offenders operating in groups who would often pass them around between themselves. Yeah, this is scary reading, and it could give you nightmares, let's put it this way. Now, the next section that I found that was interesting was location and methods of ABUSE and control. And so here, there was a report by Bernardo's back in 2011, and they identified this thing called the boyfriend model. And this is a situation where the offender befriends and grooms the survivor into believing that they are in a relationship. And so affectionate exchanges were commonly reported in Cockburn's study, with a number of survivors reporting that they felt that they were in a genuine relationship with the offender in question. Now, the Police Foundation found evidence of the boyfriend model being employed and exploited, let's say, by offenders in their particular study. They say in cases such as these, the boyfriend offender is able to provide a wider network of offenders with access to the survivor. Research commissioned for Bernardo's also found evidence of some survivors running away from home in order to be with someone they thought was their boyfriend only to end up being exploited. Now, Goher's study into the experiences of the survivors from an Asian background found that the boyfriend model was common and that this often involved the promise of marriage, which allowed for the exploitation of girls seeking escape from a conservative and controlling environment. The next bit that caught my eye was all about offender characteristics. And so the first bit that we're going to get onto here is gender. And so here they say, when considering all types of child sex, UAL, ABUSE, otherwise known as CSA, offenders are predominantly male. And they cite the Kelly and Karsner 2018 and Park and Karsmer 2019 studies there. They say, for example, the crime survey for England and Wales found that 92% of adults who reported experiencing this kind of awful crime in childhood said that the perpetrator was male. Okay. The next bit that I went on to into this study was age. And the Ministry of Justice data demonstrate that for all types of contact CSA offending, the most common age range of offenders at conviction is between 30 to 39, with just over a quarter being 29 or younger at conviction. And then we go on to ethnicity. And research by Quilliam asserted that 84% of 264 offenders convicted for grooming gang offences between 2005 and 2017 were Asian. 8% were black, 7% were white, and 1% were of an unknown ethnicity. And they're quoting another study by Rafiq and Adil back in 2017. And so you see this tweet by Visegrad24 saying, according to the Cockbain report, they committed 80% of these offences. Yeah. Here you go. It's saying it right here. Research by Quilliam asserted that 84% of 264 offenders convicted for grooming gang offences between 2005 and 2017 were Asian. And then we go into, okay, the CEOP situation, saying that they found that of the 52 groups they examined that provided usable ethnicity data, 26, which was 50%, comprised all Asian offenders, 11, which was 21%, all white offenders, 4, 8% all black offenders, and 2, which is 4%, exclusively Arab offenders, and 9, which is 70%, were mixed groups. Of the 306 offenders in total, 75% were Asian. Again, cited by CEOP, the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Centre. And then I looked at the section where it discussed motives. And this was really, really interesting to read, because it said, look, based on the behavioural characteristics of the offenders in their sample, CEOP suggests that many offenders seem to derive satisfaction from coercive and manipulative behaviour. Goher also suggested several potential factors driving CSE offenders in the cases that they examined, which mostly involved offenders from Asian and Muslim backgrounds. These included societal influence as part of a culture of misogyny and objectification, cultural patriarchal issues, lack of challenge in the community, and a lack of intimate education. Again, citing Goher's study of 2013. This, to me, is pointing out that, you know, as per the study, the majority of the offenders, right, have this kind of outlook, this behavior, this motive, this thing of misogyny and objectification that, to me, does not jive with British culture in any way, shape or form. In any way, shape or form. There is a major, major problem in the UK right now. And as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, the government's trying to cover it up. And oh my goodness, we're going to get to that in a moment, because Keir Starmer is on record, and I'm going to show you the clip in a moment, saying that the vast majority of the offenders in the whole child grooming situation doesn't involve ethnic minorities. After everything I'm showing you right here from this study, Keir Starmer, as far as I'm concerned, is trying to gaslight us all. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, looking at the other side of the coin, okay, the survivors. The study indicates that in terms of gender, the survivors are typically male. For example, the NPCC's problem profiles of CSE found that in 2014 and 2015, 88% of a total of 8,995 survivors were female and 12% were male. A similar picture was seen in research by the Children's Commissioner for England, finding that 72% of the 2,409 survivors identified were female and 9% were male. And then we go on to ethnicity for the survivors. Now, there is an issue that is repeatedly reported in this study time and time again, that there is an issue with underreporting, with reporting these statistics correctly by the police and other agencies involved, right? But the report does say here that research suggests that the majority of known survivors of CSE are white, with research suggesting that anywhere from 60 to 83% of survivors fall into this category. Now, Keir Starmer, two-tier Keir, would have you believe that the vast majority actually don't involve ethnic minorities whatsoever. Not a chance, not a chance. You want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth? Here we go. This is insane, okay?
There are examples which went wrong in the past, and we have to deal with that. But the vast majority of sexual abuse cases do not involve those of ethnic minorities, and but the vast majority of sexual abuse cases do not involve those of ethnic minorities. And
yeah. Keir Starmer needs to go. He has no handle on this whatsoever. And as far as I'm concerned, guys, this is an epidemic of epic proportions. The government needs to take the bull by the horns and get this dealt with. And more importantly, protect our freaking children. For him to turn round right there and say, this does not involve ethnic minorities, after everything I've just shown you in this particular report, is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And as far as I'm concerned, this is dangerous gaslighting of the British people right now. But there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Because the British people, we are waking up. And we are not believing the lies that the government is trying to spout out. We need action. And action needs to be taken now to protect our children. It is as simple as that. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course there's going to be more. I've only just got started with Political Nerds. Make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here at Political Nerds. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. And until the next time, you guys, laters.